Today it is August 28th, and I was thinking about, I'm wearing this head covering thing so that people who are more conservative in certain countries who require a head covering on women feel that they can watch my video if they want to, about torture and things that are happening in the United States. I suppose if I were going even more conservatively, or addressing the most conservative, it would also be to cover my face and just have my eyes showing, but I feel that that would be really, I don't know, I think that would be kind of distracting for me right now if I tried to do that. Not to say that I might not do that at some point if there are certain points that I want to make, or certain things that I might want to say that I would hope could invite a even wider audience. And really looks like I have no audience at all. I mean, if you look at my YouTube clips, it looks like, some people have seen my videos many times, others have seen it, once or twice, which is giving me an idea that the statistics on those YouTube things are not always correct, are not always correctly describing how many people do view some of the different video clips, not just mine, but others as well, and maybe the various ways that someone can watch without even being detected. Because usually I think it counts you, if you click on a YouTube clip, it will count how many people have actually clicked on it. But I think there are a lot of different kinds of technology advances and loopholes that allow people to access things in different ways without, having anything marked down showing that they were visiting a site. So, in that case, my audience might be a different segment than I sometimes think it is. I'm trying to think about what I needed to talk about today, because I've just been trying to give so much information, and because I've been trying to do it quickly and I've been tortured in the last several days, it's been sort of tiring. The most tiring part has been being tortured, and somebody quit doing what they were doing, and then they kind of backed off a little bit. And then right after about the 24th, which was the first day of classes starting at OSU, and which was also after I uploaded a whole bunch of video clips where I think I look and sound normal. I look decent, halfway decent for once, I think. And I sound, all the way through the day, I believe I sound the same and I sound okay. And after that point, I was really being tortured more. So, it seems that a lot of times I'm tortured whenever I start to sound normal in any way. And that's been the case whether I move from one state to another state, whether I blog about the things that I'm doing and it sounds like I might be getting ahead. Well, the next thing that's around the corner is torture. Anytime, and so that really makes it seem, that's very odd to me, because I know that this is hate crime. I don't care how someone tries to classify it, it's hate crime. And those who have done this to me are part of encouraging and promoting hate and violence and torture. So then it's really strange for me to think, well then why would anyone quit doing this just because I'm engaged to get married to somebody? And on one hand, I could think that it was doing maybe some other people a favor, like, you know, or that they felt that their friend or relative or whoever employee was going to be in this country, and that it was a good thing, so maybe they quit. But I really feel like one of the main reasons somebody decided to stop what they were doing is simply because if I was engaged, that was removing a threat, whatever threat it is that I've been presenting to the individuals that have tried so hard to keep me down. I feel that they've just wanted me to get married off to somebody. I don't know if it's women who are jealous or older men who are afraid that somebody might leave their daughter if I start to sound halfway normal and I'm not being tortured and I make my own way in the world, as, you know, obviously I would be doing. And it just, to me, it seems very strange that it all hinged on marriage. I feel very, very strongly that that it was agreeable to some because they did feel that it removed whatever threat it was. I mean, I am not exactly positive. I've had, you know, it sounds strange when I talk about the Middletons or William or, you know, in his involvement with Columbia. I think about Charles, and I see weird things happening with Charles hounds and different explosions happening in Virginia, and I don't know how to describe everything, but some of the things that I noticed, and then comparing it to my relationship with the man that I was with, who also told me that he worked for the FBI, or had done that in Colombia. And, you know, then thinking about the president, I mean, I did meet a lot of people who had sort of powerful jobs and powerful connections. So which person specifically, or maybe there was more than one, maybe there were two, but I think that it's more along the lines of maybe one person. And I honestly I tend to go one direction, thinking that it's all about one thing, and then I'm really not sure. All I know is that my getting married to Alvaro was for the group that's been torturing me for this many years and who put these implants in me since 1995 and then really escalated the torture to ruin my life, take my son from me. It really was like some kind of a soothing balm to them. For whatever reason, the idea that I might get married and have my own husband, and maybe certain women didn't feel threatened anymore about me. I mean, I never was a threat. I didn't chase after other people's partners. Even if a couple times here and there they chase after me. I never ever encouraged that kind of thing, ever. So I'm not sure if some of it was that, but I really think that it comes down to not just certain women who are really catty that might hate me, and maybe someone really powerful. But I think that it also comes down to a group of men and a man somewhere who has believed that I am someone to get rid of, or to be married off, and that I should have been married off when I was in my early 20s. I wasn't. Then I was getting an education. That was threatening. Then I was filing lawsuits and doing well with them. And kind of got a little bit more international attention at that point because it was an international case. It was for the Archdiocese of Portland and Oregon at one point with a big bankruptcy case. So that involved Lloyd's of London. That was one of their insurance companies, was Lloyd's of London. So that's, United Kingdom. And then there was the U.S. And other countries were interested in judicial and legal affairs. So there are definitely people who can foresee things and who are afraid of things that might happen. And I definitely see different nations, just like the race to the arms war, the race to the nuclear war. There's a whole race with the whole psychic warfare thing. And if someone foresees something happening in the future or potentially happening, there are all kinds of things that countries will do to make sure that, to try to get in the way of that. And the United States, I've already discovered, allows torture as one of their methods. So, you know, if I have my own man, there's no problem with me. So it just seems very odd to me. Why it is so imperative that I be married off. I mean, if I was engaged or in a very serious relationship, that seemed to be good enough. But it was much, much better. It was more important that I was married off, or that I had a piece of paper that said that I'd signed up for a marriage license, maybe making something else that could have happened in the future potentially null and void, or impossible at that point. I mean, I think somebody wanted documents. I mean, maybe they just wanted, with all of this, you know, trying to tarnish my name and trying to chase me into bars, you know, kicking me out of coffee houses, but chasing me into bars. So I have to go there for Wi-Fi. And taking advantage of me while I'm incapacitated, but then trying to make it into a scenario of where I'm having a one-night stand, which was not the case. I think that maybe they just wanted to add a marriage and then have me get divorced and add divorce to the list. You know, like a divorced woman. I mean, which is not that big of a deal, I don't think, today. There are plenty of people who are divorced and they get remarried, or they don't get remarried, and, you know, who cares? But, you know, if it wasn't to keep me in jail, it's been to have me married. So, and then trying to torture my son so that he doesn't seem as smart as he really is. That's not government research. That's hate crime. That's trying to make a kid look like he's not as smart as he is, or trying to dumb him down. Because why? They didn't want me to look like I had like any kind of intellectual anything upstairs. Or maybe they wanted me to look like just a little bit above average, but not too much. And what would the motive for that be? Again, it seems to be that if my son is made to look less intelligent, whose cause does that serve? It would only serve someone who wants to make maybe my son look less intelligent, because they maybe have me look less intelligent because they are trying to make me look as unattractive as possible, because there has always been this fear of someone in particular possibly getting involved with me. And if I've already been involved with that person and I didn't know the whole story of what was behind it or around it, I don't know. I have some extremely good ideas. I don't think that I'm out in the I don't think I'm way out there to have wondered about a couple of possibilities at all, because I have had enough things said to me and seen enough things and heard enough things to know that I'm not totally off base.